Okay, let's get this started tonight. Oh, that's pretty. Alright, we are officially live. Welcome to the Ilderon Tales, Group D, Brothers in Arms, the second part of their campaign, Episode 1. I am so incredibly excited for tonight. Okay, so since this is a session 1, let's go around the table, and we'll start with the newest party, or the oldest party member to the newest party member. And what we'll do is, say your name, like, hey, my name is, and just give like a quick 2-sentence description of the character you're playing, and then I will take it from there. So, oldest party member, it's it's technically Johan.
Technically Johan. So, my name's Jordan. I'll be controlling Johan. He's a pacifist paladin, and he hates Father A.
Alright, next we have Father A.
Hi, I'm Rob. I play Father A, Arter's noblest murder hobo, who hates dwarves.
Not just Johan, he hates dwarves in general.
Alright, next we have Wesley controlling...
Yeah, this is a new character. I'll be controlling Emerald Galadinel. Yeah, and you'll find out more about him later.
Alright, and finally we have B.
Hi, I'm playing Octavia. She's a sorcerer and sometimes accidentally sets things on fire.
Alright.
Can I just say my classes, I guess?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, so he's 8 levels Bard, 2 levels Cleric.
Alright, I'm gonna turn you down a little bit. Okay, cool. Okay, so when we last left this party off, they were I'm getting some feedback from, is it Jordan? I think it's Jordan.
Or is it
B?
Probably me and Rob.
Okay. Hey, B, do you want to go to push to talk real quick? Just so I can, read this out. I'm getting some feedback from your mic. We'll just,
1 second.
Here we go. We'll just turn that down to... There we go. Alright. So, when we last left this group off, they were in the middle of a civil war, and then 2 gods started skirmishing over the city that they were in. The party destroyed one of the boats in the commander's warning, and several other heroes from across the city also... There we go. Turn that down more. Also destroyed several of the boats. So, from there, that leads us to the second part of our campaign. It's been 2 weeks since that event. It is the 8th of Hunter. And I'm just going to read this document, and then I'll jump into where we're at. The day is saved, but the night is born new. The ascended god Galesong has returned to the eyes of history. His return was overshadowed by the Gatekeeper, unleashing a swarm of otherworldly spirits loose on the capital of Arter Sarai. Brave heroes from all over the city rose to the occasion and fought back the servants of death. However, the victory was not without loss. Almost a third of the city lost their lives in the conflict, and the spectral storm of souls still spirals above the city as an omen of Arter's impending doom. The young celestial magnate, Ariana Bertolf, has been putting more stock in her court mages to find a solution to the storm overhead. Among these mages gaining increased political power is an enigma of a woman named Alice. When questioned about her credentials, no one in the castle seems to know where she came from or where she gained such an astute understanding of arcane magic. One thing that is certain is that her increased pull with the magnate is concerning the head diviner of the castle. Arter Sarai maintains the largest infantry force in the world, and the spirit of the nation of heroes, excess bands of Ardorian soldiers volunteer to defend the borders of other nations. The Magnate has put in order across the world, calling home all the sons and daughters of Arter Sarai to help rebuild their nation. While Arter Sarai will survive the coming storm, this means the walls that shielded the rest of the world from the storm's wind have fallen. The party's story starts in the ruins of the castle that was once Zenith Rise, protecting a court mage that has made a curious discovery. And we'll scroll down to this. I'll read this on stream too, because why not? Dearest companions, servants of the Maphis Majesty, Celestial Magnate Ariana Bertolf, and of the Kalkin, your services are needed. It seems our city, and consequently our nation's fate, is constantly teeter-tottering on fate's precipice. The storm of spirits circling overhead is only the next threat in an endless line of foes. Nevertheless, Arter will persevere. Our Majesty is busy making decrees and legislation to protect our nation's stability at this fragile time. She has trusted the responsibility of closing that storm to her mages. We will not fail her. While searching for a solution, we have encountered a curious material that the palace was built on. I am uncertain of its origin or its nature, but it displays promising properties when interacting with demonic spirits and the undead. We wish to excavate it, but seek your supervision for the process. Head Diviner, Jami Orison, Advisor of Magical Lore and Theory to the Ardorian Throne. Alright. And we can just close that, because we don't need it anymore. And I guess we can also get rid of the ghost ship, because we don't need that anymore either.
We don't need any more ghost ships?
Yeah, we don't need any more ghost ships. I sent it to the GM layer in case I ever have to summon it back. So just you guys be warned, it's lurking. It's lurking there. Okay.
Rob, don't piss off any more gods.
Alright, so you, everybody is in the Palace District right now. As you know, the capital was besieged by spectral, risen ships out of the oceans. They had cannons and they blasted apart nearly all of the tall structures of the city. The castle seeming to be the focus of their fire. You guys know the Sage's Tower was blasted apart and destroyed, along with... Oh, well, hold on. We have Zenith Rise. There we go. Along with parts of the Windwatch, and most of the Magnate's keep is still intact. However, where you guys are right now is out in the courtyard at the base of the Sage's Tower. Construction has began on the keep to restore it. And in doing so, they've had to remove the old base and foundation of the Sage's Tower, just kind of digging down to lay new mortar, new bricks, and basically just set in the framework to get the tower back. And in doing so, there is this pit that a few workers are crowded around, and just the party stepping out into this courtyard. Of course, you're going to see several of the diviners are seeming to wait on Johan and Father A. Among the diviners, you guys see Jami, you see Alice, you also see the third mage that is up in their quarters that nobody has ever talked to. Alright, digging deep into the Arter notes. Amirin, which we're just going to say you guys have her name over the 2 weeks that you've been having to interact with them. Along with the court mages, you are going to see there is a fourth figure standing behind Alice that you guys do not recognize. for that person, why don't you give us a description of Emerial, Wesley?
Emerald.
Oh, Emerald. Emerald. It's gonna take me like, give me a session and a half, and then I'll be on it.
So Emerald, he is an elf. He has the traditional elven look. He is pale. He has heterochromatic eyes, one green, one brown. He's dressed simply. He's dressed in what looks like cleric's robes over armor, and he is pretty unassuming. It looks to be like he's arrived here recently. Does not seem accustomed to Ardor yet. That's pretty much what you can tell from looking at him, I guess.
Okay. As you guys are coming out here, the Windwatch and Firewatch, that is the northern entrance, like the emergency exits of the castle. To accommodate all of these workers coming in and just doing construction here, the Windwatch and Firewatch gates have actually been open, what's left of them, and there are a group of servants just kind of like ferrying people through the courtyard of like directing them like, okay, you guys stop here, you guys keep going through to the Earth Gate, your services, and these are just kind of mundane people you guys see traveling through the castle. So we're gonna pick up from right there. The party steps outside. They are greeted to the scene of Alis, Jami, Irmarin, and this new individual waiting for them. As you guys step out, Jami is going to step forward to Father A and Johan and say, God, he's gonna speak up and just say, it seems even the Knight's forces are dwindling these days. Nevertheless, thank you for responding to my summons.
It's no problem at all. What is with the stone that you've discovered?
Jami is going to say, well, it's actually a very curious piece. I have a as he goes to reach for it, two more people are going to yes. So, two more people are going to be joining this group. A man with fiery red hair and another younger individual step out of the Magnate's Keep into the courtyard. As they do, Jami's going to stop, and he's going to bow and greet this newcomer and say, Master Oro, it's wonderful for you to have joined us. Oro's going to nod and say, Ariana sent me on behalf of her knights. She's lost some forces, but nonetheless, she wanted people she could trust on this, and I'm here to fulfill that. He steps in behind Father A and behind Johan. From the distance. Actually, I need to... there we go. B, are you there?
Yeah.
Alright, so Octavia would be, like, being moved through this courtyard with servants. And as she is, she's going to, like, just see this red-headed figure, this red-headed fireball of a figure step out of the keep into the courtyard. And she recognizes it as the person she's came to see.
I haven't seen him before.
You have seen him before. This is your brother.
No, like here. No, like here.
Oh no. You knew he was somewhere in the capital, but you did not. You have not seen him here before.
Okay. So I advance quickly towards him and hit him in the head.
Mm-hmm. All right. So as you
But like not to harm, but a little bit.
Okay. So as you come, like running through the courtyard at him, two castle servants are going to like come chasing after you and say, "Madam, you can't run to the keep. They're guard. Madam, you have to go through the earth gate." And by the time you get to him and you bonk him on the head, he's going to like bend down, look over at you and say, "Octavia?" And he's going to open up his arms for a wide hug and bring you in.
Okay, so I hug him too.
And he says to the servants chasing you, "I've got to pull up my notes."
I lean towards whoever's standing next to me and I ask, "Is this a normal greeting in Ardor?"
Alis is going to lean over and say, "Sentimental drab's lost on me."
Ah, yes, I can understand.
And he's going to look over to Jami and say, "How long is this going to take?" And Jami's going to shake his hand and say, "It shouldn't take long at all. It's actually very interesting if you observe it." And he's going to look at Octavia and say, You've always had a knack for magical things. Would you care to learn a little bit?"
I would love to.
Jami is going to go over to Amirin, who has a cloth, like this flat folded piece of cloth in her hands, and he's going to pick it up, and there's something wrapped inside of it. And he's going to bring it towards the party and unwrap it. And it is this, it's just this chunk of dark metal.
It looks like a piece of metal.
It does look like a piece of metal. And
Emerald is going to walk forward and ask if he can examine it.
Okay. Alis joins you, and he's going to say, "Of course, this whole." Let's see. I have to turn you down some beat because I'm still getting that feedback. Like if your mic's on voice activation, I think your speakers are picking it up.
Yeah. Do you still hear it?
Let's see. Testing. Testing. No, I don't. Can you talk real quick to make sure I can hear you?
Yeah, sure. I can hear you just fine. And
okay.
Everybody.
And you sound great too.
Okay.
All right. So, he is going to take and hand the medal towards Muriel. Does Emerald.
Think so Emerald, but without the D at the end.
Okay.
That might help. It's slightly different from that, but... Yeah, and I just want to take a look at it, see if I've seen anything like it before, if I can discern anything, if I can discern anything about it.
Okay. Yeah.
Alright, yeah. So, I drop it immediately.
Okay. So he hands it to you, and as you drop it, he's going to well, luckily there's a hole, and he's going to pick it up very gingerly and say, luckily there's a whole cache of it underneath the Sage's Tower, possibly underneath the entire keep.
Huh.
And Alis is going to step forward, and she's going to say, "What is it?" Reaching for it, and he does the same, handing it to her, and she's going to take it in her hand, and the same thing, like wince and like, "Oh my, by the gods!" And Jami's going to say, "That's interesting. We're not quite certain what it is."
What is it doing? Why does it hurt to touch?
Jami's going to shrug and say, it's a material long lost to our civilization. But we do know, yesterday, or not yesterday, a few days ago, as we were letting workers in here, the swarm, gesturing to the mountain side north of the city, where the ghost swarm is centered on. Let's see. So that mountain range right there is actually where the ghost storm is. And he's going to say a few stray spirits from the swarm struck towards the capital. As you know, nobody inside the keep can be can be possessed. And we always thought it was because of the protective wards that we've put on it. But out in the courtyard, 3 workers were possessed. These bits of this metal were flying everywhere as the rest were still mining away at it. Chunk lodged into them, and they felt fine immediately afterwards. The bloodlust was sated without killing them.
So they have the property to repel possession.
Jami is going to shake his head and say, "We're not certain. We've tested it. We've sent an expedition team with a small piece of it up north, but it seems to elicit a violent reaction from those spirits."
Violent reaction. Violent reaction how? Like they attack the people wearing it, or?
I think it inflicts pain upon them when they interact with it.
And he's going to nod and say, most of the time, or rather, the spirits only descend, it seems, about once a week. Ever since we sent those ships back to the bridge. But when we sent our expedition up there with this material, the mountain was not safe. They all stormed down and attacked them.
So the material itself is attracting the spirits, and that's why it has a reaction, or do people have a reaction to the material?
Jami is going to nod, considering your words, and say, "There's so much we don't know right now. But before we pulled more of it out of the ground, we wanted to be certain we had the proper protection here. Once again, as I stated, when we started mining it before, that's when the spirits descended on us."
All right. Add a character because I'm getting confused by the way the story's going.
Mm-hmm.
So the material can get rid of possession, and when you started mining it, the ghosts started to attack the people shipping it.
Yeah. So what he said was they got people down here and got everybody ready to start digging out the tower and breaking the foundation so they can put a new one in place. Because this is the tower took several cannon blasts. This, half of it's still dug in the ground. Pieces of it are crumbled. It needs to be properly leveled before you can build on it again. And so he said when they started excavating, and all of these and everybody was down here mining and picking away at the stony metal material, the all of the bits and pieces of it were flying everywhere. When they started mining, the spirits attacked them. However, nobody died because from the shrapnel of the pieces flying everywhere, they believe it unpossessed somebody.
Okay. Okay.
They've
So the
only
ghosts
did
weren't-
minor experiments with it, but they haven't been able to safely conduct them, is what they've told you guys.
But what was this thing about going to the mountains?
So the ghost storm has been lingering over the city. It's not
Yes.
so when the storm came, it swarmed down on the city and possessed hundreds of thousands of people. Ever since you guys sent the commanders back to the bridge, in that climactic event, the ghost storm has just been kind of lingering up there, and only ever so often, he said about once a week, the spirits come down and make trouble. They sent somebody with the material to the mountain to see what connection it had to the spirits, and they attacked that group.
Okay. Okay. So it has the ability to repel ghosts, and it's also currently attracting the ghosts for some reason.
So you want us here to protect the workers while they are excavating, or do you want us to investigate what this material is?
Jami is going to nod and say the extra hands on board would be very appreciated until we can get enough of it, at least inside our quarters, to properly study.
I am at your disposal. You have done some really good help for me in my research here, so I am willing to help in any way that you need.
I'm a little bit skeptical, but considering that the magnate's quarters are built essentially on top of this discovery, I don't feel like it. I don't like the idea of it attracting more ghosts where our leader sleeps at night. You're not planning on moving it into the Sage's Tower, are you? You're planning on moving it to a different building entirely?
Jami looks at you, blinking for a minute, and before he says anything, Alis is going to speak up and say, "Of course, you want to consider the ramifications of bringing something like this inside Zenith Rise." Jami is going to say, "I believe the wards against spirits inside of the castle should stand enough to protect us." Alis is going to say, "Are you certain?"
I am also right there. The wards had very little effect when the ghost ships came.
Well, you are going to know nobody inside of Zenith Rise got possessed. Specifically, the only people who got possessed were the people in the courtyard.
Yeah.
I was gonna say it was the walls. The walls seem to protect people, not so much.
I mean, the walls didn't protect much when the tower fell down.
Well, those died to cannonballs. That's different than possession. Yeah. Fall damage
My
and...
thing is that it's attracting ghosts, and the ghosts are like, wait, they have this material. Send the ships back out. Cannon fire. I don't want it to be aimed at the castle.
Yeah, that's fair. So bringing up that point to Jami, he's gonna nod and say, "I understand your consideration. Perhaps your Kalkin office is well warded. We can conduct our studies there."
I find that a much better idea.
Yes. Give it to the Calkin.
Roll me a. You know what? I'm not gonna say roll me a history check. I'm gonna give this to you on a 1. You guys have information already, as this is information you gathered from the last campaign. Jami Orison is a member of the Silver Sigil. That organization hates, or rather, the Calkin hate the Silver Sigil. You can invite Johnny back. They don't hate you. Like, the Silver Sigil doesn't hate the Calkin, but the Calkin hates the Silver Sigil. You can invite Johnny to the dinner party and bring him home and just let Makana and Katrina react to it.
I didn't know I was dealing with the Silver Sigil
Somebody didn't think about the ramifications.
No, I didn't know I was dealing with the Silver Sigil member. I thought he was just another one of the court wizards.
Well, he's both.
What is the Silver Sigil?
Oh, okay, so cool. If I ever tell you information about the world that you don't know, you can just ask me, like, hey, can I roll a history check? That's not information Octavia would be privy to naturally, so you can roll me a history check to see if she's ever encountered them, and I'll tell you, like, what you know based on the magnitude of your history check.
Okay, should I roll on the chat or with dice?
So open up your character sheet.
Yeah.
And on your character sheet, you'll see your skills on the left-hand side, and you'll have history. Just click the word history, and it'll roll it in the chat log.
Okay.
All right. So on a 10, and, this isn't prompting anything, just like, has Octavia ever encountered the Silver Sigil? Not in her day-to-day life. This organization wouldn't be anything that she really knows about. However, when they're mentioning the Calkin, she would know who the Calkin are. The Calkin are very, 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 very violent anti-magic police. They basically, like... excuse me. Basically, they hunt down mad scientists. If you think of, like, a mad scientist, like a mad mage.
Okay, and are they, like, really hunting down only mad? Whoever they decide is, like, mad? Like, what kind of reputation do they have?
A negative one.
Yeah, the Calkin are not liked because they stick to their morals pretty much in any situation. So they have a negative reputation because if you are misusing magic, they will find you and end you.
Okay.
Can I also roll a history check to see if I've heard of the Silver Sigil?
Yes, you can. But that is a just thing.
Are you shitting me?
That's a nat 1.
I have a plus 10, and I rolled a nat 1.
That's impressive. It threw me off for a second because I was like, "Oh, hey, at least you did a little whoa."
Yeah. There are no critical fails on skill checks, so don't feel.
Oh, really?
Terrible. Yeah,
okay,
not
good,
this
good,
edition.
Good.
So you're going to gander the same information. Like, you haven't encountered the Silver Sigil before, but as the conversation drifts on the Calkin, everybody knows the Calkin. One of the things that, is disliked about the Calkin, even if, like, a child is, like, experimenting with magic and, like, using it, if they misuse it, or anything, they'll just, they'll mercilessly kill a child. Nobody's excluded from the rules. You don't misuse magic.
Okay. Understood.
That said, asking, and this is just general stuff you guys are going to gander, letting a bunch of mages experiment with unknown magical items is pretty much the antithesis of what the Calkin is like. Oh yeah, we don't know what this does, but we want to find out. The Calkin would be like, no, leave it alone. Put it back where you found it. Get that out of your mouth. Come on.
My idea was, you're keeping a controlled substance.
Yeah.
In the place that controls the substance.
And see, that's also the other thing that's led up to this campaign is Johan is the antithesis of a Kalkin member of like, maybe we could not kill children, guys?
Yeah, also,
Place
yeah,
sucks.
I am the complete opposite of every Kalkin member ever.
He's a really bad Kalkin member.
But are you a Kalkan?
Yes, Johan is decked out in plate armor and the sigils of the Kalkin. He is a member of the organization, and he is far too nice to be inside of it. He's the nice cop. He's the good cop.
I'm the only nice cop.
The not children killing cop?
I don't kill. I'm not even an evil killing cop.
Yeah, Johan's a pacifist.
Okay.
Even though he pushed Father A.
Don't buy into his lies.
And so it begins.
I think he should be judged, and I put him in the correct court. That's all I did.
Alright, so...
Oh, go ahead.
Never mind.
Oh, I was just going to say, Jami is going to say, yes, we'd love to, we'll take one of your upper rooms within the...
I didn't know Jami was a Silver Sigil member when I offered that.
They store it in the basement. 2, you do realize what you're asking, right? You want to store your unknown magical rocks in the Kalkin office and perform magical experiments in the Kalkin office. You should...
And he's going to say, as a diviner of the Magnate, or as a diviner of Zenith's Rise, I have no quarrels with their organization. Besides, they exist in the laws of our land, which they abide by. And he'll look to Johan and say, if your sentinel will permit me, I will send. I'll send over some of the samples as soon as we get them excavated.
I'm going to have to bring this up. Let me bring it up with my superior first, and I'll get back to you on that. I do believe it's better. These things are better kept in the Kalkin office. I'm not sure about whether they're okay with the experiments to happen in the Kalkin office.
Okay. He is going to nod and say, I suppose we can hang back on mining this material. At least for today. And he's going to look back to about the dozen or so... just like servants with them and just skilled artisans and craftsmen who are, prepared to start mining here and, start off the day's construction. And he's going to raise a hand and they're, just going to, all right. And they're going to kind of disperse. Some moving into the keep and then some of making, use of their time, like just picking up large chunks of rubble and carting it off. Oro is, after you guys say that, Oro is going to look up at the sun and says, Ariana has me on babysitting duty with you, so I guess I'm with you guys until you get that decided.
Alright. You mind if we take that sample that you have with you back with us to Kaitrina so we can talk about it?
Jami's going to look down at it and say, oh, but of course. And he's going to pick up the cloth and fold it over it and then hand it to you.
Yeah, I'll add that to my inventory.
Chunk of dark metal. Dark metal.
Chunk of dark metal. Potentially poisonous to ghosts. Ghosts want us to not have it.
All right. So as you like take the metal and you're like starting to pocket it, Alis is going to walk up to the party and say, "Dearest companions."
Hi, Brown.
What do you want?
She's going to... God, she's just gonna look at you with a little bit of, like, disgust of, like, I thought we were friends. And, you know, she will say that. I thought we were friends. We've been through so much together. Besides...
I just feel you're trying to butter me up.
And I'm still not sure what you did to Ariana, so I'm still questioning you.
Okay, I asked my brother, who is this?
Well, you are about to find out.
Like, quietly.
Yeah. Go ahead and roll me a stealth check, just to, you know, like, and that's going to determine who can hear you.
Okay.
And where is the cat?
Everybody can hear her.
Yeah.
You're having a spectacular time rolling tonight.
Gotta get these out of the way.
Gosh.
Here we go.
I'm glad.
Can we make it 3? Can we make it 3?
Oh, that's 2. So yeah, you're just like, who is this person? You know, just like hand over your mouth, but shouting it. And Oro is going to look back to you, and he's also going to respond in a whisper, and he's going to do a much better job of just like, you know, just like turning you around, and he's going to like lean his head down and say, "That's Alis. That's one of the court mages. She's been getting closer and closer to the magnate lately. I just got back in town this week. I haven't had an opportunity to really meet her. So I've heard stories, though. She's knowledgeable."
Aggressive.
But do you think she's a good person?
Is anybody a good person?
Yeah, he's gonna shrug and says, if the magnate trusts her, I don't question Ariana's judgment.
So, no.
Oro's gonna say, I'm a soldier. It's not my place to make or do all the political positioning and the moral character judgments. She tells me to stab people, she tells me to babysit people, and I do it.
Okay.
And Alis is going to gesture back, and she's going to say, I've been paying attention to what you guys have provided, Ariana, and for that I'm eternally grateful. But as you know, and I know, and she looks towards Jami, who's, you know, conversing with Imran, and she's going to say, that man's a fool who will make the worst possible decisions for our nation. And she's going to go on and gesture towards Emerald. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Emerald, and say, this one bears no association with the diviners inside of the court. A neutral party that we can both trust outside of Jami's peering eyes. I wish to know what that material does, and I can sense the hostility towards me. If you study it any, permit him privy to those to whatever tests you run. I only wish to study it from a non-bias lens, and I'll read his report. I think that should be something we can both agree on.
Ow.
I'm sure we could share some information. But you know I'm not much of a scholar.
And she's going to say, and that's why I'm giving you one.
You cut out there at the end.
Oh, she said, that's why I'm giving you one.
Shots fired.
And she's gonna say, "Look, allow a non-bias party into the mix."
Elected by you.
And she's, she's gonna say he stops by the library and asks questions every now and then. We have a relationship, but I don't know much about him.
We don't know much about you.
Also, if you don't know much about him, then why do you trust him?
Because I know he's not one of Jami's pawns.
How do we know he's not one of your pawns? Because, like I said,
I think I would know if he was one of my pawns.
Yeah, but we don't know if you're telling the truth or lying.
Alis is going to step forward and say, submit me to a zone of truth, as you paladins love to do.
You know what? I'd love to, but I just checked my spell list and I don't have it right now. Oh, trust her.
You don't trust her?
I said I will.
Oh, you will? Okay. I mean, when has Alis ever screwed you guys? Never.
To be fair, she never has.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but she just.
I mean, okay, maybe once, but we technically don't know that.
Yeah, we don't know what she did.
But other than that, in dealings with Alis, I've only been screwed once by the dwarf.
How do we know Johan's not a pawn of Alis? It's what she would want him to do is to decline the person she offers so that she can offer another person that is one of her lackeys because Johan and her are in cahoots.
Well, we can take the scholar. He's either unbiased or not. It doesn't matter to me. I'd rather have him closer.
All right. Alis is going to walk next to Emerald, and she's gonna just like whisper into his ear. Anybody with a passive perception over 14 hears her. And
does it have to be over 14? What if it is?
No,
14?
if it's 14, no. If it's not over 14, you don't hear her. She's attacking your passive perception, and it goes in her favor.
Beat me with the time.
And she's going to whisper into his ear and say, if you don't trust they can handle themselves in a competent fashion, just grab it and bring it to me. And she's going to walk by the party, smiling, and into the keep.
And I'm going to be scowling at her.
Emerald's going to walk to you guys. Who's holding the material right now?
Johan.
Johan has it tucked away.
Okay.
It weighs 2 pounds, by the way, for Johan. Its weight is not negligible.
Okay.
It appears that I have been attached to your party for the moment. Where are we heading, and what do you require from me?
Apparently you're going to help us study this material.
Yes, it is rather interesting. I would like the chance to get to identify it and understand it better.
I would like to do the same.
Well, we can all do that back at the Calcan office.
Where is this Calcan office you speak of?
It's in town. It's the building
more
where the
toward
test
north
goes.
side of the city.
Towards the infestation. I see. Very well.
Alright, 2 people I don't trust in my party.
Who's the other? Oh, Father A, of course. I told you, it's session 1, it's going to be pick sides, the dwarf or the murderous human.
Who is a dwarf?
Johan is a dwarf.
I am a dwarf.
Oh, I thought. Okay.
So hold on, I'll show Johann's portrait real quick. Hold on, I gotta. There we go. This is Johann. He is the Kelkin member, and then there is Father A, who is the old angry cleric.
I'm mostly monk.
Oh, mostly monk. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
I love the differences in portraits.
Yeah.
It's so good.
How could you be mad at Johann? He's so adorable.
I see
Okay.
no reason to be mad at me.
They don't like each other.
No. No, we do
And
not.
then there's 2 new people and 2 people who don't like each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
Okay.
so with you guys right now is Emerald, Johann, Father A, Octavia, and your brother Oro. That is the entire party for now. Your guys' other party member will get introduced at a later point. And so you guys are going to head towards the city proper, to the Kelkin Order House. And as you are moving there, you can see that the Nazaram Embassy, which is the embassy for the major international peacekeeping organization, is being rebuilt in the center of town. Once you get across the bridge, though, most of the city proper is ravaged. Every other house has been, destroyed or something on it is broken. The city is rebuilding, but for the city's rebuilding, but for the most part, the city proper has been crammed shoulder to shoulder, the whole time you guys have been in town, even though it's you guys were in town for the winter season. Walking through it now, even though you can still see an occasional 15 to 20 people along the street side working on buildings or something, it's basically like a ghost town. You guys have never seen this part this empty.
Tis.
I know, that's why I paused, because I was just like, God, that's awful. But anyways, you're gonna make it to the Kelkin office, which is still standing and was warded against the storm and sheltered by the wall of the forge ring and other buildings near it, so it didn't take too much cannon fire. Inside of the Kelkin office, as you guys step into, this is like a town home squished between other buildings, and it's wooden from the front with a nice big stone porch leading up to it. But once you step inside, you can see that this place has been repurposed, almost turned into a mini fortress. There's hard wooden floors, but there's stonework lining the walls and the upper floor, and the meticulations of the building of how it comes out and everything. Those beams, the wooden beams that would normally be holding those, have been placed with iron reinforcements going up to the second floor. Inside, immediately to your right, there's a stone chimney place with a hearth that is lit, and several plush foreign sofas around it as a residing area. There is a girl sitting there. She is writing in a book. She has got, and she's a bit of an odd character. She's got black hair with lime green streaks running through it. And in the center of the room, working as the scribe, Sindel is going to have her spear leaning on the desk, and just watching people, walk through the door. Specifically, you guys. It's not a lot of people come to the Kalkin. Not a friendly bunch they want to, come talk to. Sindel is going to where is the Kalkin? There we go. Sindel's going to grab her spear, putting it on her back, and walking forward to each of you. And she's going to say, God, that was quick. And look, your numbers are back up already. What happened with that, with the diviner?
Well, discovered a piece of material that they believe may have an adverse effect on the spirits.
And she's going through like each member of the party and shaking their hands, like as Johann's talking, cutting off Johann as she gets to Emerald, and she says, "Sindel's here."
Is this flirting?
Pleased to meet you, Sindel. I am Immerel.
She shakes your hand, with two hands, one hand underneath, the other one on top, and then onto Octavia, saying the same thing, just, Sindel's here.
I say, hey, and smile really big at her.
She returns it almost like mechanically of like, oh, I'm the greeter. And she's going to move on to Oro. Same thing, hand underneath, like Sindel's here. And look back at Johann. And Oro's, going to respond and say, Oro, Knight of the Magnate. And she's gonna nod and say, oh, that's lovely. And turn back to Johann and say, continue.
Anyways, we have some material that may be adverse to spirit, or spirits may be adverse to, and spirits may want to get their hands on it. Not sure which. And I need to discuss this with Kytrina about storage.
And it's studying this. We need to identify it and see if it is able to repel these ghosts and get rid of the affliction.
Sindel is going to say, well, Makan is in charge right now.
They have a fight again.
Sindel is just gonna shake her head and say, it's been tough the past couple days here, with them in constant contention with one another. Katrina took some time to breathe and went to manage her estate in Somar Villa. Ooh, she's gonna remember that and say, Lady Katrina. She's noble now.
I just want to note that I'm going to go sit with Reyna.
I don't have time for this.
Alright, then I guess I'll go speak
I'm not a
to
Calcan
Takada.
member.
Who is this person?
She is your worst nightmare.
Oh, good to know.
All right. So, does everybody minus Father A follow Johann upstairs?
Yeah.
Sure.
All right. Moving upstairs into the meeting room, there's a series of 4 rooms up here that everybody can see. I'm just gonna roll evens, odds, what doors are open. God, I didn't designate that. Evens, they're open. Odds, they're closed. So the first one is open. The second one is open. The third one is closed. And the fourth one is open. All right, so as you step up here, there's going to be a large meeting room to your left. The door is open. You guys can see a blonde-haired woman sitting over the hearth. Or sitting with a hearth behind her over a dark wood or dark oak like long war table. Also down this hallway you see another room that looks like a study on the far left side of the hallway, and immediately to your right you see another room that looks like some sort of records room with towering shelves that reach all the way to the ceiling, and like this area, I told you guys it's like this house has been like repurposed into a fortress. The rooms are each like at least 12 feet tall.
You said that there's a records room?
Yeah, those the record shelves go all the way to the ceiling, and they're filled with sheets of parchment.
Emerald is gonna ask, pardon me, but there's some research that I've been looking for. Is it okay if I borrow this for a second?
Not right now, no.
Is there someone that I need to ask?
We're about to.
Okay, I will wait.
Alright, do you guys step into the meeting room?
Yes.
Alright, Makana is going to stand up from her chair, and she's going to beam a... Well, is she going to beam a smile at Johan?
She likes Johan.
She does like Johan, but she's also not in a great mood right now. And you're gonna see like the sour expression on her face just kind of fade away as it just drifts towards a forceful neutral expression. And she's going to say, "It's Darren. Who have you brought to see me?"
Yes, we have our current guard from Lady Ariana again, his sister, and then this is where it gets weird. So they have discovered a material that the spirits may have an adverse reaction to, but at the same time the spirits attack whoever is currently transporting this material. So we brought it to have it here for storage, and then this gentleman wants to study it.
Yes, my name is Emerald Galadonel. I am a traveling bard and cleric, and I research different things. So they would like me to examine this item, but I was also wondering if there was perchance some way that I could do some research in your records room. There's some information about Ardor that I have been looking for, and I would appreciate it if I got the chance to search through your records of the history of Ardor, if you have any.
So it's a lot to take in. Makana is going to point towards Emerald and say, absolutely not. Those are confidential reports from our Kelkin agents in the region. Exposing them can compromise their safety. We wouldn't want another repeat of the Month of Father. And she's going to look to Oro, walking to him, offering a hand, and say, "You're one of the Magnate's men? Celebris and Meat have served us well. We're happy to have you within our ranks."
May Celebris rest in peace.
Yeah. May Celebris... Yeah, actually, Celebris is also, too, I didn't describe his war axe. We'll get back to that, because it would be on the mantelpiece. And, yeah, she is going to say, yes, the gods rest his soul. However, with that, I'm delighted to have your service. Oro is going to nod and say, I'll only be here temporarily. And she's going to point to Octavia and say, "Who's this last one?"
It's Oro's sister. She followed him here.
Mm-hmm. And she's Makana's going to hold out a hand still and say, "We're always looking for new recruits."
Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
She said she offers a hand towards Octavia and says, "We're always looking for new recruits."
I will shake her hand and say, "We'll see." But nicely.
All right, and so, okay. Oh, go ahead. Was there something else?
Yeah, because I don't know anybody in this organization or this town or what I'm doing here, so I'm still a bit apprehensive of this whole day.
Yeah, that's fair. that is very fair. So she's going to turn to Johan and say, destroy that material and it'll save us all the trouble.
Yes, but I feel like if it's something that could fight off evil spirits, it's something we should have on hand in our arsenal.
Also, there's something else that you might want to consider about it. This material does actually repel the ghosts, and the entire castle appears to have been built upon it. So it may have further complications than just needing to destroy this sample.
Makana's going to nod, just, considering that. And she's going to say, look, I've always been one to bend the rules, more so when it suits me. And she's gonna say, Johan, I'm tired of fighting with Kaitrina. I just want to do what I'm here to do, or what I came here to Ardor for. Can you ensure, if I allow you to handle this material, you can guarantee the safety of those around you?
I can. There is one other issue.
Oh, and she's going to, turn over her hand, like, what? Go on.
There is a court wizard who also wants to study this material, and he has ties with the Silver Sigil.
That's understating it.
Her vision is going to narrow and say, which one?
Giami.
Alright, she picks up her elven short sword, leaning on the table, and says, you're in charge, Johan, and leaves.
Can we not have bloodshed? As I go to stop her from leaving.
You can roll a contested athletics check.
I lean over to Oro and ask about the Silver Sigil. What's significant about the Silver Sigil?
Athletics check. Where is it? There it goes.
He is, so he's going to roll his own history check, and I don't have his character sheet made on Roll20 because I haven't had time to input all of it in there. But he's going to, like, as he's watching this display between Makana and Johan go off, he's going to lean over and whisper to you and say, I've only heard about them in whispers, but some clandestine organization at the forefront of every major catastrophe or disaster in the past couple years. And he's gonna shrug and say, it's all hearsay, just, whispered rumors among knights and soldiers.
I understand that.
And Johan is going to successfully grapple Makana as she doesn't have athletics. She has animal handling. Okay. But she gets a +5 to athletics. Good lord. Okay. So Johan, even though Makana rolled terribly low, Johan's going to win that athletics check by 1. And he's just going to, wrap his arms around her legs, almost causing her to topple, and, just get that bear grip on her. And she is going to say, Johan, they're liars and they're secret keepers.
And I agree. Mm-hmm. They are liars, cheats, and secret keepers.
She never said anything about cheating. She doesn't know that. And she's going to say, they locked me in a cell and used me as bait.
Yes. They also rebuild the building.
They rebuilt the building.
Yeah. They are responsible for how nice the Calcan office is right now. They bankrolled it.
Yeah. And if this gets us that debt off the table, then I say we do it. It would be the cheapest way to get it off the table.
She's going to throw her hand to the side and say, "That debt was off the table. That was repaid for throwing me in a cell. Our score is even now." And she's going to she's going to roll another contested athletics check against Johan. Johan can try and contest this. The number to beat is a 23. And she's...
Is it another athletics check?
Yes, if you want to keep her restrained. You beat her by 1, and she beats you by 1 this time. Damn. She's going to throw, Johan to the side and turn to him.
She's, kicks her foot free.
Yeah, and she's going to turn to him and say... I feel like let's get some better music for this too, because this is gonna get a little heated in here. And
you need to open a window.
And she's going to say to Johan, she's gonna say, "Don't you wonder how they know exactly where to be anytime there's a problem breaking out? There's a spirit storm over the city, and now they have a diviner, or rather, they have somebody leading the charge, trying to study it. I don't trust them one bit."
I don't either, but maybe we can trust this guy. I don't have many options.
Emerald's gonna step forward and say, as I said before, I am a traveling man, and I have no association with anybody here. I can't examine this bipartisan or unbiased, but...
So... most of the time, this would be the time when a cop would ask you, would you submit to a search? And that's not getting asked. Makana is going to grab your clothes and start, pulling up your shirt, moving up your sleeves.
Mine?
Yes, you.
Yeah.
Oh, if you want to contest this, you can roll an athletics check or acrobatics check to get out of her grip.
I'll let her, I'll put my hands up and say, I have nothing to hide. You will find my flute and some notes on some studies I've been doing.
In fact, Johan is the good cop. She is the bad cop.
Yeah, and she's gonna give you a full body inspection, just giving your private parts, the generosity of doubt, and raising your pants.
I think she should thoroughly check to make sure he didn't show up anything up his butt.
Raising your pant legs and everything, and she's going to say, every one of their members is tattooed with their mark. I've learned that much in my time dealing with them. All right, he passes my check. That doesn't stop me from wanting to drag Jami and throw him in our dungeon.
Yeah, but that will look very bad for our relationship with Ariana.
She's going to say, we're not a mercantile company. We don't need to care about our appearance.
It appears that you reside in her city, so I think it should be best to remain on her good side, right?
Yeah. As you guys are saying this, Oro's just watching this whole thing, with Octavia, go down, and he's gonna step up and say, that's, I believe, where I come in. Yes, by the Mathis Majesty's mandate, members of her castle, the decree put forth by Carinus the third magnate says you shouldn't, or you can't attack a member of the court of mages without due cause or the magnate's approval. And he's gonna like nudge towards Octavia and says, "I've been reading up on penal code."
I speak up, trying to back him up, saying to use persuasion towards Mikana. Then shouldn't you trust a member of your group that has been to this place and interacted with these people? Meaning Johan? He seems very trustworthy.
All right, go ahead and roll that persuasion check. And everybody's also going to know Oro
Ooh,
did a
29.
horrific job at like
Holy persuasion!
Yeah, he
Plus
did a
9.
horrific job at like stating that penal code of like what law was it that said you can't attack court mages?
Oh yeah.
And then you know Octavia's gonna be like, look, and Makana's just gonna like bite her lip and say, God damn it, I'll be happy when Kytrina's back and I can get out of this place. And she's going to say, or she's going to look to Johan and say, I trust you to handle this. Don't get caught in the Silver Sigil schemes.
Yes, ma'am, as I give her a salute. And stand back up.
So, am I okay to study the material here? Is there a place that I can do that?
Yeah, she's going to say, I'll move the ghost jars to I'll move the ghost jars to the study upstairs. You can have the dungeon. I'll have Sindel watch them.
Ghost jars? You have ghosts in jars?
Makana is...
What is that?
Makana's gonna nod and say, yes, we have 2 spirits we have not been able to dispatch of. When we can't kill a magical threat, we contain it.
Pardon my bluntness, but we could use those in our study of the subject if we're trying to determine that it repels these ghosts. They would be very helpful in our studies of it. So if we could have like one or maybe both of those in our examination of it, that would be very helpful.
Makana is going to laugh hysterically, like, Wait, you're serious?
Very serious.
Can I whisper to Emerald and just go, if she punches you, I'm not stopping it.
She is... So, these ghosts in the Kalkin's basement are not new things to the party. As these things have gotten out before, long ago, and these things cause serious trouble. And Makana is going to say... She's going to say, I'm not dealing with those spirits. It took Arabella and an entire group to get them back in their jars, and we had to bend over to the Silver Sigil to mend the one that got broke.
Okay, very well. I will find something else to test this material on. Thank you.
I want to bring up, Emerald, that if you wait probably 11 more days, there will probably be a swarm of ghosts you try and catch.
Who you gonna call? Kalkin!
Yes, I am aware of that. There are quite a few things that I need to research before I am ready to apply this material. If it does repel the ghost, then we need to decide whether it's best as a weapon or as armor, or as both. It could be made. Then again, it may not be able to be used as a metal for making materials at all. I don't know. There's so much to learn.
Right. And she's gonna say, just give me a half an hour and you'll have full run of the dungeon.
Coolness.
She stands up to leave, and she's gonna look back to Johan and say, I rescind my order, I'm still in charge.
As you always are.
She leaves, and before we handle the party, we're gonna jump over to Father A. Father A is sitting behind Reyna. Does he look at what she's doing?
Yes.
All right. It appears she is writing in her spellbook. While you would so Father A doesn't know a lot about wizards and how they cast magic or any of the arcane things behind them, but he does know a little bit about like somatic components, and that, you know, the way you have to move your hands and stuff to make like the oscillations to like jive with the incantation of the spell are all like things that are passed on through the ages. So when this type of magic was developed, you know, this society made this type of like incantation movement, and then another society discovered if you do this movement with this movement, then, you know, you get this whole new spell effect. And so incantations are kind of written like that, like use a 3rd century direction of flow charm, you know, use a 2nd century, you know, power amplification charm, and use the, and like that's like how spell incantations are kind of written. And like looking over Reyna, you can see she has scribbled these incantations into her book. But then additionally, on top of like the movements of her drawing out the incantation are the somatic components. She has started drawing pictures on them, turning arcs into like animals with little eyes, turning, you know, 3/4 circles into flowers, and drawing stems on the incantations. And the more like you look over her, you don't think any of these spells are gonna work. Like, you don't have to make an Arcana check for that. Like, you're just gonna be like, God, what are you doing?
Reyna.
Oh, go ahead.
I think we need to get you a proper tutor.
And she's gonna say, no. General Matthews enchanted my spellbook for me. He said, whatever spell I want to come to fruition, if I just write it down, it will come through. And she's gonna say, you want to see this one? I just thought it'd be helpful in a pinch.
I have so many feelings, but I think I'm gonna let it happen.
Alright, so she picks up her spellbook, and she is going to start, you know, doing the incantation. And as she's doing it, you know, she's making the vocal oscillations, and she's like drawing with her hand, and she's going, oh, that's the wrong, it should go like, oh god, and like this, and she finishes out the incantation. Same thing, you're going to feel like this imbuing of like magical energy surrounds you. Just kind of like you shed bright light for maybe 15 feet out before it dims. Your hair is lime green, just like how Reyna's was before. And she's going to she's going to smile and say, "Did it work? Do you feel faster?"
I stand up.
You don't feel faster.
I don't feel faster. I just have green hair.
No, you have green streaks in your hair.
Yeah.
That's gonna really.
No,
really
your entire hair is, all of your hair is lime green.
Oh, never
Oh,
mind.
good. The juxtaposition would have been worse.
So what I'm getting is, if you bulk up, you'd be Broly.
Yeah. Yeah, I assume there's a bulk up spell that my pseudo granddaughter has. You know, we'll figure this out.
You just Master Roshi that shit.
But I'm like, I don't feel faster, and now my hair is green.
Okay, so, yeah, she's gonna respond to that with like, oh, okay, well, maybe I should remove the flower. And she's gonna look at her spellbook and start scribbling with charcoal over the incantation that she turned into a flower. And she's gonna say, a cat would do real good right here. And she's gonna start doodling what looks to be the start of an incantation of like, oh, you've seen other people make... Oh, that's not it. As she starts filling in the eyes, ears, and whiskers of a cat in her spellbook. You have a few more minutes if you want to like say anything to her before the rest of the party comes down.
So are we walking downstairs as the brain?
Raina, how do you come up with these?
Raina is going to... Raina's gonna shrug and say, well, I mean, I am an arcanist by, I'm an arcanist by station, not a headmaster.
Not by study.
Yeah. She's gonna say, I'm an arcanist by station. Sometimes I feel fighting would be better if we could do it differently. And so I try to do it differently.
Raina, I think we need to get you a magic tutor. I don't know how to put this. Back home, you know, they train us how to hunt. And that doesn't mean you have to do it one, specific way, but you can't fire a bow and arrow creatively until you know how to do it basically.
Sindel, sitting at her desk, is gonna say, the kid's fine. I'd rather her turning people's hair green than lobbing fireballs accidentally.
I worry about the people raising this child.
Raina is going to say, so do you know a magic tutor?
I did, but then he liked football.
I got that reference.
Do I? There's only one person I can think of, and no.
A-list teaches mages at the college. That's literally her job. Or at the castle. It's literally A-list's job to teach.
Yeah, I know. Well, first of all, I don't know that. If you can do that, that's dope. But I mean, I could ask A-list, but I don't trust A-list. And, I care about your upbringing.
She's gonna say, what's wrong with A-list?
Shady ass shit.
She makes the hairs on the back of my neck stand up.
Like, you're talking, and, Reina's like a, 9-year-old girl, if that. And her mind just goes elsewhere, like when you say that, and she's gonna say, that would be a really good spell. What do you think you'd have to use to cast that? Maybe like a scary bear? And she's gonna flip to a new page in her
Storm clouds. Storm clouds.
And she's gonna start drawing. She's still, like, listening to you, but, like, back turned, doodling in the book.
Yeah, no, I've lost her. I know what it's like to handle a 9-year-old.
At this At this point, the rest of the party is going to be coming downstairs.
Does Father A still have green hair?
Yes, Father A does have green hair. Lime green, in fact. Yeah, so you guys left your cleric sitting on the bench, just grumpy. And now when you come back, you know, he's just going to be...
I have green hair, and I'm less grumpy.
Less grumpy now?
So I go, you know what?
It's amazing what hanging out with the grandkids will do for your spirits, even if you end up with green hair.
It's, I guess it's a good look for you.
And Oro is going to point to Reyna and say, and she did that?
Mm-hmm.
He is going to walk forward to you and, like touch at your hair, and, like, he's gonna move his, like, fingers through it. How much of this is Father A permitting?
He's got a little bit before I break him. See, I can't. See, that's the thing. He's got a decent amount of leeway, because if I break him, I have to tell Ariana about it.
And so, like, if a Father A is permitting this, he plucks a single hair, like, out of Father A's hair. And he's gonna say, my god, it's not an illusion. It's green. And he or
do that
Gail's
again.
So, go ahead.
It's like, do that again. And Ariana's going to need a new bodyguard.
And he's, I mean, yeah, as you say that, he's gonna be like, oh, please, you'll be doing her a favor. And he's gonna look to Reyna and say, transmutation magic? Reyna's gonna look up and shrug.
Well, high concept there. I was discussing with Reyna that perhaps she needs a tutor.
Oh, go ahead.
I have a brain partner who I was going to recommend.
Alis?
No. Freak. Woman who's married to Brock's sister.
Rachia, or Anadelia.
Anadelia.
I don't think Anadelia is a sorceress.
No, but I think she might know others.
Real quick, before we continue, we're going to jump over members of the party to Emerald. Emerald. So the party steps out of the room and starts heading downstairs. You slide into the records room. In here is towering stacks of bookshelves. And on each shelf is stacks and stacks of parchment. As you thumb through them, you can see that they're sorted via region.
Okay, then I'm gonna look for the region of where I'm looking for.
Okay, roll me an investigation check.
I hope Makana catches you.
All right.
That was to the GM.
Yeah, I saw it.
It doesn't matter.
Okay, so on that, like, looking through here, you're going to find the shelf for Alyan, and then, you know, you're going to go through all the different regions that Alyan has people stationed, and it appears that what these are, what these reports are, is Kalkin members are riding the quarters. And the quarters is this huge military fortress on the other side of the continent that the Kalkin is based out of. And then the quarters is sending out these reports to their different field offices of, like, where their agents are at if they need help. And like going through all of the Al-Yan reports and the summary of like what the agent's doing there, you see that there is a bubble around the forest. Just like everybody else, the Kalkin are not permitted within the forest. Or at least they don't have any agents within the forest.
Okay, well then I'll just leave it alone and walk away then. Put everything back, try to put it like, appear like there was nobody there.
Okay, I'm gonna take that at an average check. If anybody wanted to like contest it and like notice that something's like shuffled, it would be a survival check to track. Of course, if you'd like to alter that check at all, like tidy up or anything, I'll allow you an intelligence check to try and just put everything back.
I'll do that.
Otherwise, yeah. All right.
Just a straight intelligence check.
Yeah, it would just be straight intelligence of just like this here. Okay, it's good.
So how do I roll straight intelligence? Do I
just roll a d20 and add your intelligence modifier, or you can click your intelligence. All right. Okay, cool. You head out down the stairs. You're going to rejoin the party. You'd come into this probably as the party is discussing Anadelia. Probably at this tail end. And so Johan said Anadelia might know other spellcasters, and Johan's AFK, isn't he?
Yes.
Alright. So, Johan's going to say Anadelia might know other spellcasters. And Oro's going to say it's the diviner's job at the castle to teach diplomats and servants within the castle any magical spells or ease of life things that they might need to know. I can ask one of the diviners if they could spare the time.
What about Alice? She is able to teach. In fact, I believe that is what she does there. Oh, right, you don't trust her. I forgot. My bad.
I may not have much of a choice. I want somebody capable.
Oro's going to speak up and say, I heard she taught Marcus how to use magic.
That's going to cause Father A to kind of go,
and he's going to say, hey, I've seen him do parlor tricks at a party before. The boy was crazy good with the arcane arts.
Emerald's gonna want to go over and
may the gods rest his soul.
Stern silence.
I'm gonna go over and try to discern the nature of how Reyna casts magic. See if he can help her at all.
Alright. You look at her spellbook, so you aren't really familiar with you aren't really familiar with the intimacies of how wizards keep the spellbook. But you would be familiar with the common standard of arcane practices. I mean, this spell book is like a child's doodle book. Looking at these spells, it's the halfway thought of a spell, and then it just trails off. Through each 2 pages, contains enough markings that you could probably hobble together an entire spell, but you don't think that this is practical at all. And
it appears
in fact, if this spellbook is enabling her magic, as most wizard spellbooks do, through the ink and rituals they use, you don't think this thing should work at all.
How is she able to cast magic?
She's going to look up at you and say, I'm an Arch Arcanist.
She is, by station.
Do I know what that means?
You can roll me a history check. Actually, you would. An Arch-Arcanist is the second highest title of a master magic user in the world. The highest title being the headmaster of the Maphis University. So, in order to become an Arch-Arcanist, the headmaster of the university needs to look at this person and say, "You know more about your area of magic than anybody else in the world, and I deem you with this title."
How did you become an Arcanist if you have a spellbook like this?
And she's going to say, "Well, I was the magical advisor to a general in a Lil guy's army, and by a Lil Nagian practices, only an Arch-Arcanist can be a general's advisor. And he named me his advisor, so then I also became an Arch-Arcanist when he did."
Okay, I think I understand now. That's interesting. You definitely need a tutor, though. You have a lot of skill, but your thoughts are all over the place.
And she's going to say, "Hey, you see this one right here? This one makes you lucky. You want to see?"
Sure, go ahead.
All right.
He's wait, give me a second.
She begins casting a spell as you know, like, when you're like, "Give me a second," she goes through the process and she's like looking down at her spell book, looking up at you, like backtracking, doing an incantation a second time.
So as she does it, can I like check to see if like I recognize the spell and see what it does?
Yeah, go ahead and
like identify what it would do.
Go ahead and roll a Arcana check.
Can I do an Arcana check as well?
Go ahead.
19.
All
I love
right.
playing a bard.
Let's.
Oh, I had a 20.
Oh, okay, nice. Give me 1 second. I'm looking up one thing that I've got to roll on.
She's casting a 9th level spell on me, I swear to God.
I mean, technically speaking, everything she casts is bolstered by 10th level magic.
What the heck?
Like, she does parlor tricks, but...
There we go. Okay. So, as both Octavia and Emerald are looking at the spell casting, you see, like, is that a protection from energy? Like, I think that... No, you only use that incantation, like, that somatic component when you're cursing somebody. Wait, what did she just say? Emerald. 63. You experience vivid hallucinations. And you go on a trippy ride through your mind.
Wait a second.
Yes.
I'm trying to see if I have a reaction. I don't think I do have a reaction.
There's no counter spelling range.
Oh wait, yeah. Is there any way that my counter charm works?
Counter charm, you have to use it as an action. I don't believe counter charm can be used.
Oh yeah, it's an action.
Can I use counter spell?
Yes. Go ahead and roll me a ability check and add your charisma to it.
So how do I do that?
Type /R space 1d20 and then +5.
Okay.
Or you can just click your charisma on your character sheet.
Okay.
Good lord! That nat 20. Okay, so counter charm should be 10 plus the spell's level. Our counter spell should be 10 plus the spell's level. Yes. All right. So you are going to beat this spell, and like Emerald starts hallucinating, and just his mind is blanking, and he's just like on this cosmic trip. And then, like, as this magic's, like, taking a hold around him, you are just going to, like, counter the ending part of Reyna's incantation, messing up her casting of it, and the spell is going to fizzle. All of the magical essence fading from around Emerald. As it does, she's going to say, hey, that was working!
And that was the problem.
Oh.
Really needed to.
Emerald is like holding his head like he's having a headache.
Good job avoiding short-term madness.
This child needs a tutor as soon as possible. Magic is very powerful, and it needs guidance as soon as possible.
What was Octavia saying?
I said that the problem was that her spell was working and that she really... But maybe not the weird lady from the castle.
Mm-hmm.
I'll ask Anadelia. If push comes to shove, I don't think Alos will corrupt you. I don't think anybody could.
But didn't somebody just say that she got her student killed?
No. She didn't get her student killed. It's just that one of her students happens to be dead. Absolutely no relation.
Roll me a deception check.
What? I didn't lie!
Oh, okay. No, I thought you said you had no relation.
No. It had no relation. Like, Marcus is dead. It has nothing to do with Alos's teaching. Well...
But are you sure?
He's sure.
Did he kill this person?
Yes, I did. I did kill him.
Does Father A say that in
No. Sorry, I feel this is out of character. It's just, but yeah,
that's information Johan doesn't know.
Nobody knows. That's all meta knowledge. I'm the only me and Marcus. Yes, I'm positive. I'm positive that it had nothing to do with his teaching. Marcus Bertolf was assassinated.
That's so sad.
He also captured the assassin, and then she managed to escape again too.
But I will see. Besides, if Alis, I don't worry. I worry Alis. I don't trust. But in terms of Reyna's teaching, well, if she tries anything, she'll have to deal with me. More importantly, she might have to deal with who made her book.
Reyna's gonna speak up and say, a heathen made my book. The pagan god of this nation.
Gale Song made her book. Nice guy.
And she's gonna say, when I met him, I didn't know he was a pagan god.
Seemed like a nice guy to me.
I've heard rumors that he was one of the people responsible for the storm. Is that true?
Absolutely. I was there.
Interesting. I wonder if that's the source of why her magic is so powerful, because she uses a book created by a god.
Probably.
I asked her if I can take a look at her book.
Yeah, you can look at it just like everyone else. Same thing. Like Octavia, is magically attuned, doesn't know the inner workings of wizardry, but same thing. Like this book is like a doodle picture book More so than like if an arcanist like handed you their spell book, this is nothing. Like you'd expect it to look like a bank record, and this is not that.
It's like a coloring book with activities.
Yeah, this looks like a printer got jammed.
But does the book have anything? I mean, I guess it has magic. Have anything that stands out?
You can roll me an investigation check.
Okay.
It's a spell that turns people's hair green.
17.
A 17. You're gonna notice there is this. You're gonna notice like a lot of wizards use an arcane focus, so it wasn't apparent to you at first. And most wizards will have a place for it, like sliding into their spell book. Like if they have like a little crystal or something, they'll slide it into the spine and they'll take it out and hold it as like they're casting spells or something. Hers is this pale white crystal on the front of the book. As you go to like inspect the arcane focus, you can see it's actually fused with the book and it doesn't come out. It's not, sewn in a pouch or anything. It's actually a piece of the book.
Okay. And does that tell me anything, or just that?
I mean, what that means, not really certain, but yeah, definitely that's pretty unusual.
I asked her about the crystal, if that's how she got the book.
Wait, say that for me one more time.
I asked her if she got the book with this crystal engraved on.
And she's gonna nod and say, "Oh, yeah, it's a it was a piece of his necklace. He put it in the book for me. Called it his secret trick."
Okay. I asked Father A if he knows anything about this.
No, I didn't pay it much mind. I sort of stopped at the whole, a god made her book. Felt. After that, it sort of explains most things.
And Reyna is going to whisper. And this whispers to Octavia, but it's, everybody's going to hear it. There's no amount of, subtlety. As, she's whispering, but Octavia's still much taller than her, and she has to speak up. And she's going to say, but in Ilderon Tales, they teach that he's not a real god.
And I whisper shout back, I know none of these people are real.
That's such a...
I love that you're an atheist in a world where gods walk the earth.
And she's going to be like, oh, you're not a heathen.
What?
She said she's from a theocratic nation. And this is, she's from an opposite religion that says, from an entirely different culture. She said, you're not a heathen. Of just oh, you're not a heathen. And just very casual speech.
I guess I'm not.
Mm-hmm. We're working on that.
Has time passed for Makana to come back yet?
Oh, yeah, half hour. As you guys are talking, Makana would be, you guys would see her with these 2 jars on her arms, walking up the stairs.
Is the dungeon ready for me to use now?
Yeah, she'll call back and say, all yours, stay away from the northern cell.
What's in the
That's
northern cell?
Immediately. I love it.
What's in the northern cell? And she's going to say, we detained somebody with frostbite there a few months ago. Had it cleaned, but just never really trusted it.
That's right. I'm still cursed.
You are cursed.
I forgot about that.
And she's going to say, frostbite is a deadly magical Ardorian disease. Once it strikes you, it's hard to get rid of. It spreads quick.
We shall stay away from there then. And Imro's gonna head downstairs in motion for Johan to follow with the item material.
I guess I follow, because I do still have that material.
All right. Oof. Okay. So, you guys head downstairs. Does anybody else follow them?
I follow them. I want to see what this does.
Yeah. If Octavia's going, Oro's gonna kind of like look around, and then he's you know what? He's gonna start stepping forward, and he's gonna say, "Ghosts really aren't my thing. I'm more of a people stabber. I'm gonna sit this one out."
Father is gonna keep chilling with his fake granddaughter, her adoptive mom, and best friend's his dead best friend's girlfriend.
All right.
This is better than a soap opera.
All right, so headed downstairs into the dungeon. You can see the back shelf, or the back wall, is filled with different knickknacks and charms. Johan would know these are things that the Kalkin hasn't quite been able to destroy yet. That, you know, probably shouldn't be just wandering freely around in the city. Then along the western wall, there's going to be the 4 cells with the northern cell, of course, is empty. I'm going to roll them a percentage die of if they've got anything in the other cells. And no, actually, for the first time in all of the campaign, the Kalkin cells are empty. And on the right side of the room, there is a large slanted stone wall. There are 4 torches that burn down here, shedding bright light in the whole area. There's a table that's going to be near the... There's going to be a table in the center of the room on the northwest side of the center of the room. You guys have free reign of the dungeon.
Alright, I pull the metal slab out of my bag and place it on the table.
Okay, do you keep it covered?
Well, I'll start uncovering it. I'm actually curious what happens when you touch it.
Okay. Does, well, I mean, you can uncover it and place it on the table.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to uncover it first. Does it react to torchlight at all? It's like a black metal.
Doesn't appear to. Does Johan touch it with his gauntleted glove?
Yeah. I was going to take my gloves off after I took it out of the wrapping, but I wanted to make that observation before I touched it.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to respond to the torchlight.
Yeah, so then I'm going to touch it. I want to see what happens.
All right, you take off your glove and place a cautious hand towards it. As you place your hand on this, hold on. Let's go with this right here. There we go. As you place your hand on this, it feels cool to the touch. But yeah, it's just very cold.
Okay. I then proceed to hand it towards Emerald.
Imro is gonna say, just leave it on the table. I need to cast a spell on it.
Do you have a pearl?
Oh shit, I forgot. This is my first spellcaster, guys. Sorry.
Yeah, you do need a pearl worth 100 gold for Identify.
Shit.
However, you do remember Father A saying something about it earlier.
Father, I said something about a pearl?
I don't have a pearl.
He said something about Identify. Don't you have a pearl for Identify?
You know, I think we talked about it, but I want to say it was a joke.
I'm pretty sure you bugged me for like 3 sessions until we finally gave you a pearl for Identify.
No, I bugged you as Morgan. That was different.
Wait.
Barty had the pearl.
Oh, yeah. You guys had Barty buy it, and then Barty was like, "Wait, I have Identify on my list," and kept it.
Okay, so even though I cast it as a ritual, I need to have a pearl.
Yes,
You
you do
especially
need
need the pearl when you cast it as a ritual.
Okay. Sorry, first time spellcaster.
God, would the Kelkin have it in the vault?
Probably in the vault.
Percentage
we
die.
can't open up.
Oh no, they have a pearl. They have spellcasting materials. It's in the vault.
Where this thing would normally be going, but we can't open it right now.
So Johan would inform you on the other side of the slanted wall, there is a secret vault that they can't access.
I would not inform him that there's a secret vault.
Oh,
I said
okay.
that there is a vault.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell him where it is.
Okay.
I don't trust his ass.
Yeah, Johan can inform him that, there are materials in the vault, but right now, our key holder's out, so we can't,
If they mentioned a secret vault, I asked Johan, so where is this secret vault? Use persuasion.
You can't use social skills on a party member, but you can press them for it. You can be like, hey, where is it? Where is it?
Yeah. And then I press him for it.
He's like, what do you want to know?
It's a secret vault. That means you keep good things in there.
Yeah, it's a secret.
You're not here, Father A.
I'm with my granddaughter. I'm having a much better time.
And
Because it's a secret vault. It sounds like the most interesting part of this building.
Well, there is another spell that I can cast instead of Identify until I get the materials for Identify. And then I'm gonna start casting as a ritual Detect Magic.
Okay. It takes.
Oh.
Go ahead.
Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and cast it.
Okay. Pulsing over this material, you detect it is not magical.
This is interesting. This material is not magical in any way. I'm assuming I get a lot of magic, like, peeps from all around me?
Yeah, definitely,
Things.
You're gonna see this hazy, misty essence kind of, fuzz up and light up around, other objects in the room, especially along the back wall.
And, do I feel the secret vault at all?
No, it would be blocked by Detect Magic.
Alright. Just had to check. Yeah. This is most interesting. This material is not magical. It must be inherent to the material itself, the properties that it has versus ghosts. It's rather peculiar. Is there a place that I can study on the history of Zenith Rise? Who built it, when it was built, everything about it?
You could probably try the library. If it's
Okay,
still standing.
There aren't any records here in the Kalkin office.
Alright, so, real quick, things you guys would know about this, nation in general. Knowledge is a public thing. In each city, instead of a mayor, they have a dedicated sage of that city who is kind of like the lore keeper historian and the figure that interacts with anybody living in that city who like needs help of like, hey, you know, like if you imagine like the local elder of a community, that would be the sage's role, except they're not always elders, they're just trained, like they're educated clerics, essentially, and they run the public library. Yep. The Sage of Ardor Sarai is a woman by the name of Anna Ostel.
She's nice.
I need to speak with your sage about accessing the library for information on Zenith Rise. See if there's possibly something I can tell about this material. Can you get me an audience with her?
She's not my sage, but I'm pretty sure we could just go and ask. Pretty sure you could just go to just go to the sage's, or not the sage's tower, but
the sage's tower is where the campaign started. That was what was left of it.
Well, I mean, not only is it where it started, it's not there currently.
Yeah, it's not there.
It was destroyed.
So, other information the party knows. Anna was tapped to be on the High Council as an advisor to Ariana. Ariana and her High Council have been having their meetings in the Nakart Keep in Somia.
Okay. Well, we need to go there anyways to talk to I forgot her name, Anadelia.
It lives in the city.
I thought she stays at the Nakart Manor.
Yeah, so, there's two Nakart Keeps. The abandoned one inside of Somia, and Somar Village is where the Nakarts move their keep to. It's really confusing, but, Somia is a different place than Somar Village. If you look at the map, Somia is the southernmost town, or the southernmost neighborhood of the capital.
Oh, I got you. She's the old one.
Yeah. So Ariana is... You guys have met Ariana in meetings right here. Yeah. Do you guys want to head there? And I will draw where you're at in a blue circle. Or blue X.
Yeah. Because Emerald realizes he can't learn more about the material here. He needs to like research, do some research on it.
Okay. Do you guys package it up or do you leave it in the Calkin office?
Nice.
We can store it over there with all the other magical items in the dungeon.
Yeah, we're gonna leave it here.
Okay, right on the table?
No, with the other magical stuff. With the magical stuff.
Alright.
On the left side of the building.
Because it's not magical, but...
Yeah, who moves it and how?
Hauzik, he wraps it back up in the blanket and he tucks it in a corner.
Johan.
Hidden from sight. Johan. Sorry, Hauzik's my old character.
Was Octavia about to do something?
Yeah, like after seeing them touch detect magic from the object, I decided that's all it looks like they're going to figure out. So I want to go talk to Oro to understand what I'm doing here.
Alright. So, Octavia is going to head upstairs. The rest of the party, I'm assuming, is coming upstairs?
Yes.
Yep.
I'm following behind Emerald.
So...
Just in case he tries to duck into a door again.
He's never did that before.
No, I have not. And you wouldn't know that either. So,
but I didn't trust you to begin with.
Since Johan's a terrible person, he expects the worst out of everybody.
Says A-list is a terrible person. I expect the worst out of the Emerald.
Yeah, because I came attached to her.
You did.
All right.
I knew immediately when Brandon said that was going to happen. I was like, they're not going to trust me at all.
All right. So, on your way to the keep, you guys are you're gonna have to go south through the city proper, and then to Maiden's Watch. Yes.
Emerald is going to keep his eye out for a shop selling magical components to see if he can get a pearl.
Okay.
You know, I know a lady that knows how to get things.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you do?
Provided she survived the apocalypse.
Will I be possible to get the material for cheap or regular price?
Well, if we talk to Goulet, you'll have to pay a premium. She's an extortionist.
I will keep an eye out for something then.
All right, heading through the city proper. You guys could stop on the Palace Concourse if you want, which would be this road right here in red. It is lined with merchants and vendors and people trying to get your attention. That leads into the center of the palace. Leads to the Earth Gate. Stopping there, you could just it will take you maybe 3 stalls. But you could find somebody selling a pearl. They would be selling it to you for 117 gold.
I don't suppose that there's a way I could get this funded by the court.
Slap the 100 gold down, or 120.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
I mean, I'm keeping it when I can use it.
Very well, as long as I can use it at the appropriate time.
Can I say this is exactly what happened with the last pearl?
No! We found that in that stupid Terrai dungeon!
We did.
Oh, yeah,
And Johan
you did.
bogarted all the goods, because for some reason, the guy that threw 0 punches got the loot.
Because I was the nice guy.
Still salty.
The party has a pearl that they can now use to identify stuff, and headed south. As you guys are leaving the palace concourse, Johan spots Tatus haggling with a merchant. He is alone. You, as a player, probably have no idea who that is.
You are correct.
You guys can choose to continue leaving, though. I am not going to bother reminding you because it's likely not important at the forefront of Johan's mind. If he'd like to try and remember, if he recognizes somebody, it would be a history check, DC 15. It'd be hard, but, not terribly difficult.
That's hard with a -1.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you see the person. You recognize him, but you can't place your finger on who exactly he is. The name Tatus comes to mind, though.
Okay. I as a player am I know that name, but man.
No, Johan knows the name, the character. Tatus. Why do I? God, I've seen that guy before.
Jordan has the same thoughts Johan is currently. Cactus. I know that name from somewhere. But anyways, we continue on.
Okay. Down to the down to Somia. Oh yeah, you guys are going to the Somia Keep. Okay, cool. So once you get here, it is going to. So this keep was abandoned when you guys first arrived here, and only portions of it were being used. Now looking up in it, you guys can see, torches lit in almost every room. Almost this entire keep is reaching max occupancy. As there are royal guards out here, Nakart guards out here, Would there be rental paw guards? No, there would be no rental paw guards out here. That's still on friendly terms. As you guys are walking here, Oro is going to talk to Octavia, and he's going to point up to the keep. And God, how much is he going to say? He's going to lean over to Octavia and just, very quietly, like, whisper, only to her, and say, so, when that swordsman came and pulled me earlier, or came and pulled me from our family when I was younger, and I joined the military.
Yeah,
And she's going to say...
I remember.
They were training me to be one of the Bertolf's most loyal knights. From childhood to throughout my entire career, selflessly serving them. Turns out the noble I was protecting, and I couldn't tell the family this at the time, was the daughter of the last leader of this country. Smuggled her out of the capital. So when assassins got old Respis, nobody even knew she was still alive in the eastern side of the country. One thing led to another. Assassin found Marcus, ended his life, and with her being the only member of the family left, he points to the keep and says, Ariana, the noble I was protecting, is now the leader of our nation. And
Okay, so...
Go ahead.
No, sorry.
And then he's gonna, as he's, leaning over, and he's gonna, do a very obscene gesture with his hands and say, for the years that we spent together, protecting her wasn't the only thing I was doing.
Ouch. Now.
But he shakes his head and says that's over now. Now that she's high and mighty noble, she doesn't have time for the little swordsman from the outskirts anymore. But regardless, she told me to protect, or she told me to, she sent me to watch these knights. They've had some accolades under their belt before. And as he says...
Awesome at one point in time.
Yeah, as he says, these knights, he gestures to Father A and Johann, and says, honestly, I think she's just giving me busy work to keep me away from her.
Did I hear this?
No, he is whispering to Octavia. You don't hear it, but you do notice they've been walking for a while, just kind of whispering behind the party's back. You can make a perception check to try and hear.
I mean, I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care about literally anything else he talked about. I'm just getting old man grumpy. It's like fucking whippersnapper babysitting me. Anything I have to watch you for her.
So Octavia is super... this is the biggest city ever. And even if it's deserted and kind of destroyed, she's never seen so many buildings and things together. And hearing this story about the magnate who wasn't a real person for her before, and how stupid her brother is, she's just confused about what happens now, but kind of curious, because this is the most interesting things she has ever seen.
Yeah, and he's gonna say, look, I know you're from the, I know we were raised in the outskirts. We were raised on the outskirts of nowhere. And just stick with me. I'll show you the city. Just as soon as this is done.
Okay, I will stay here with you on this night, but I'm not sure how long this is going to take, or how much of the ropes you know.
He's gonna say, I come to Ardor all the time. As he says that, that's, when he's, kind of like not being as stealthy about, like, not being as concealed about his speech. And you're gonna pick up on his mannerisms of, like, you've known him long enough that's his lion voice. He probably doesn't know much about Ardor.
Bullshit. I don't trust you. But I don't trust that you know this city, but I'll hang around.
Alright, and about at this time, it's like when the party is going to be like getting to the front gates of the Somia Keep. And I'm going to start calling it the Somia Keep to set it apart from the Somar Villa Keep. Oh god, I need a new name. Let's give this keep an official name. Because most castles would have a name, like, Zenith Rise. That way I don't confuse you guys. How about South Pell?
I expected something more difficult to remember.
And we'll call it South Pell Keep. So forever onward, the Nakart Keep on the south part of town is known as South Pell. Okay, so let's see. We're hitting 9:10. We'll do this, and then this is probably where we'll end for tonight.
I forget Brandon's not in Central Time anymore.
Oh yeah. Sorry. Okay, so stepping into this keep. The entranceway, as grandiose as ever, is going to be bolstered with 30 new guards in this area. Down here, is anybody interesting going to be coming through? Like, the guards are all going to recognize at least Johan and Father A. And, they're not going to question you as, like, you guys are stepping through.
And Octavia's brother.
Oh, yeah. No, they would not recognize Oro as much as you guys.
Poor Oro.
Right.
I nudge him and say, shouldn't you talk to the guards? We can go in?
Show them this badge and we go in.
Yeah.
Okay, so the meetings have been happening in the upper rooms of here. Do you tell them you're looking for the sage?
Yes. Well, we're looking for multiple sages because I also need to talk with what's his name to tell him it's okay to do research in the Calkin office.
Jami isn't a sage.
Yeah, Jami's a diviner.
He's a diviner.
Yeah, he's not a sage.
Yeah.
Darn, I was hoping to kill two birds with one stone this trip.
All right, so talking to a guard, and tell him you're looking for the sage. He's going to point to the eastern part of the keep and say, High Councilwoman Estelle is in the library. She was just about to head out to the Southern Temple to do some outreach. We were preparing her honor guard.
We will hopefully meet her before she departs then. Thank you.
All right. Stepping into the eastern wing of the of South Pell, into the library ward. You guys didn't use this place at all when you were here. There are several basins around this or in this area. It occupies about 4 floors of the castle. And this is like for a for a defensive fortress. This is a pretty large quarters to devote to a library. And each one of these stone basins, like placed throughout here, there's oil in it and a wick burning in the middle, just as kind of like a brazier. Without much searching, Anna and she's a high counselor now, and they've been getting assassinated like crazy. So of course she'd have like 4 guards with her, and her hair and everything else about her stands out as you guys go looking for her. And you're gonna find her with a table, her 4 guards, and just kind of like on a stool, like going through a shelf, and she is like pulling books off the shelf, glancing at it once, and then handing it to the guard behind her, who's placing it on a stack on the table. As she sees you, she's gonna say, "Oh, the Magnate's Knights! There's so much curious knowledge in this keep."
And we are kind of hoping you can pass some knowledge on to someone that we know.
She's going to step off of her. She's going to step off of her stool, bowing before the party, and say, "Of course, I'm always of service."
Emerald bows back and says, "We are in need of your assistance, my lady. I am Emerald Galadinel. I am a traveling bard and cleric of knowledge and learning, and they have the sages, or the mages, and the Kalkin have required my assistance in searching for answers regarding the material that has been discovered beneath Zenith Rise. And I was curious if I would be able to examine the vast knowledge that you have acquired here to determine if there is anything known about this material."
Anna is going to nod and say, "That doesn't surprise me that my tower was on something of that sort. These were just riverlands when the first Sarai discovered it. It was actually a mage of the Calgarin expedition that broke off from the party and set up inhabitants on this river. That's the reason why the Northern Ardor Fortress exists. They set it... centuries later, they set it up to... just north of the Wizard's Tower that was in the middle of the lake. That Wizard's Tower eventually became my Sage's Tower."
Interesting. Where can I find some books on the history of this, then, if I can learn more? Maybe, like, find some books on the construction of Zenith Rise, if that's even possible. Some of the history of it.
Yeah, she's going to shake her head and say, "I fear most of that's been lost in the Shatterings. However, some scholars have conjectured on the matter. I can prepare the materials and have them sent to you."
That would be amazing. Thank you very much.
And she's going to say, "Do you know any more about this material that was underneath the keep?"
It appears to have an adverse effect towards the ghosts. It dispels the possession that happens because of that happens from them, and they seem to do not appreciate it being excavated from underneath the tower, as they have attacked the workers who were excavating it. I don't know how much of this you have already heard, but it does appear to be something that will be helpful in dispelling the storm that is afflicting this city.
You see her completely engaged in your conversation, nodding along before finally, you finish the description, and she's gonna click her tongue, and her enthusiasm fades, and she's gonna say, "Why, that is quite thrilling. I fear it's not the answer you're looking for.
What do you mean?
She's gonna continue and say, I haven't... There's no way to confirm that this is true, but just from what you've told me, I've spoke with many a traveler and many an adventurer. I've heard something theorized before. You'd be better off talking to a master smith. But it sounds like, and this is something I've only heard of in long past stories, sounds something similar to cold iron, which is extremely dangerous to all magical creatures of any make, fiend, fae, or undead. But as far as dispelling anything or warding off any magical anomaly, she looks northwards, like there's no window in here to see, but like in the direction towards like the storm, and she's gonna look and say, I doubt it's capable of that. It just makes better swords.
Well, it would be helpful in defending any parties that would need to examine the ghost storm closer, as it would defend them from these ghosts, whether protection from possession or as swords, like you say. So maybe we can see if the master smiths here in the city can fashion them into weapons and armor that people can use for defense.
And she's gonna say, oh, okay. Curious, why didn't Jami come to me about this first?
That is a very great question. You should ask him and let me know when you find out, because he wanted to study it by himself.
If you require an escort, if you ever do that, don't be afraid to ask us.
She looks back at the four soldiers guarding her, and she's going to say, please, who would attack a member of the... who would attack a member of the Chantry? And
How many have been attacked already?
None of the High Council members that have died have actually been religious figures.
Okay.
They've all been political figures who've been killed.
Well, I know
Were they killed by a revolt, or like people, or the ghost, or?
Well,
one died.
Typhus died to cannonball.
Yeah, one died to falling damage. Another, three of them died, or four of them died to an assassin, who interrupted a High Council meeting.
I like how you say he died to falling damage instead of dying from a fall.
Yeah. And then the other spots. The other spots would be. You know what? I'll rule who's filled those other spots. Because I
don't know.
But, come on. We know who is the new High Councilman of the Chantry of Concordance.
Lance, right?
It's Adventure Dad. Like, come on.
It's actually going to be what? Actually, I can tell you guys who it is now, because I don't need my notes for this. It's Anadelia, got recommended on your guys' recommendation through the Chantry of Harmony. Anna Astel got recommended through the Chantry of Unity. Kylissa got recommended by the Chantry of Discipline. And I'm going to roll Tristan a percentage die. And I mean, this dinky cleric from the mountains.
No!
He's got a little bit of a name behind him, but he's been recommended from the Chantry of Concordance.
Yeah.
I'm so happy. He fought a shatter. He deserves this.
But yeah, that's your current High Council. And they'll probably all die accidentally before the month is out.
Wait.
If Tristan can survive Hauzik, he can survive anything.
But Rob, that means Tristan's fighting a war. Tristan's fighting a war against Brock's dad.
The way he would have wanted it.
Did you guys kill the counselors?
No!
No,
What do you think I am?
a murderer.
They just killed the people the counselor counsels.
Rob's just a Kingslayer.
Yeah.
My father is just a Kingslayer. That's all he is.
I mean, I heard you killed a child.
He was
Um,
that king.
Have I killed any kids?
I like how you have to count. But anyways, before we get too far away from this roleplay, Anna is going to say, she's going to say, or no. Okay, the last thing was said. When she asked why Jami didn't come to her, Johan said, that's a very good question. Oro is going to speak up and say, word among the soldiers at the castle is that you bite. Anna is going to laugh and say, well, I guess I'll have to bite that rumor in the butt.
Mother is just gonna
I
smirk.
facepalm.
This is fun.
I am also smiling. Like I enjoy this.
Also, I still have green hair.
Embarrassed.
I feel like... You know what? That wouldn't actually... Never mind. I mentioned it. I know what Anna looks like. This isn't weird.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, she would be all for the green hair. This is the one person that just be like, oh, that's cool. Alright, do you guys want to do anything else here?
I mean, we could stop the session here. The next thing I want to do is go find a tutor.
Talk to my favorite lesbian couple.
Yeah.
Imero is gonna want to do a short scan to see if they have any information on Ali in here, because he hasn't been in this library before. I don't think, has he?
He has not. He can roll me an investigation check.
Well, he would ask someone for, like, if they had a section on Alien. That's how you pronounce it, right?
Yeah.
Alien.
Yeah, the Nakarts are definitely knowledgeable in a lot of areas. They would point you to an area, and you'd go and start searching through this, and like before you even go off, like just looking at that area from a distance, a couple of the titles you can see don't seem to exactly match, and Anna's going to stop you and say, child, this library is ancient. It hasn't been sorted in ages. They don't use any modern system for reference. And you're going to notice
They
that,
don't
like,
use what? You cut out.
They don't use any modern system for reference. And then as you start...
Hello?
Can you hear me? Testing. Hello!
Yeah, I think he just dropped.
Okay, he's dead.
He's dead, Jim.
He's got
Hello?
his microphone, or he's got his headset muted. Hold on, I'll send him a message. There you go. He'll see that eventually.
Until
Yeah.
we can keep on making fun of him in front of him.
Yeah, that's weird. I can mute people,
I have
but I
no
can't...
clue what happened there.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know how you managed to mute your headset and not your microphone. But yeah, so what they tell you is that they don't use any modern system. This library doesn't use any modern system for sorting its reference material, and you're going to notice that. Like, the guards just pointed, it's like, oh yeah, that would be over in the A's, right? And you go over there, and it's not sorted by A.
Okay. Well, so he's like, well, an ancient library is exactly what I'm looking for, and he's just gonna do, I guess, a normal investigation check.
Okay. Go for it. 23.
Fuck yes.
You are going to... you're not going to find anything specifically like on the topic that you're looking for, of just like most of this Alyan stuff is like, oh, the elven history of Alyan, the wars they've been involved in. But
Right.
you're gonna find this history book, and you're gonna find scraps of like notes in it, and then flipping through it, you're gonna see that this whole book has been annotated by this whole book has been annotated with like comments on the history of Alyan by somebody else. If you flip to the last page, you can see that this in like flipping through it, you're kind of seeing that there is there's a difference in the writings, and you can see that this whole book has kind of been a conversation between two people. The name, or rather the last writing on the final page is in an artisan script, and it says, "You've never been so incredibly wrong, Draylin."
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, someone told Draylin he was wrong?
Yes.
Yeah, his girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that makes sense.
Do I know who this Draylin is?
Do you share that with the party?
Yeah, I'm gonna ask them if they've heard of Draylin.
Madison?
Is this like for
He's a
a
dick.
history check, or do you like know him? No.
Well,
you
so
guys
Johan
can roll a
and
history
I
check.
know
If I
Draylin.
if I ever tell you guys anything you don't know, you can say, "Hey, can I roll a history check on that?" And say, "Sure." But
Okay.
the party has knowledge of Draylin, just as I mean,
Okay, so I don't know anything about this person.
it
He's,
sounds like the name of a noble. Yeah, who knows?
Okay.
He is a noble. He's also currently wasn't the last time we saw him. He seemed to be made of diamonds and unkillable.
You're leaving out the most important detail.
Oh,
Draylin
really?
Madison is a vampire.
Oh, and a dick.
Oh.
Alright. You
Interesting.
guys are
Which we
saying
just
this
said in the
front
middle
of,
of the
Anna,
stage.
and she's gonna say, hey, just because somebody's a Terrai isn't a reason to judge them.
Oh no. It's not who he is. It's his personality.
I agree with Anna. It is very difficult to judge people simply because of their race or condition of the soul.
I watched him kill the shape changer in an elven bar.
Cold-bloodedly.
Cold. Yeah, that does appear to be a discount on his record.
Yeah, he sounds like a dick.
I mean,
he's a noble.
Do I find like who the other person was talking in the book?
There's no name referenced at the end.
Okay. It appears that this Draylin may know something about which I need to know. But if what you say is true, it may not be that he wants to help me. I may need to learn more about this later.
I need.
Very well.
I'm
Anna's
having that
going
moment of-
to say, nonsense. See, people who have hard demeanors just need a little bit of extra counseling. I'll go to him. I'll speak on your behalf. What is it that you wish to know?
Oh my god. No.
Well, it's a matter of. I think I prefer to seek out this information on my own.
Yeah.
This may be a completely, unnecessary journey, but so I don't want to like involve people in it if it's completely irrelevant. So I will search this out on my own. Thank you very much. If I do need your help, though, I will gladly ask you for it.
As you declined, she's gonna nod. Oro is in the back of the party with his hands on his canine teeth, making biting motions at Anna.
What?
I really wanted to make like. I want Father A to do like a stupid smirk and be like, "We'd rather you not." He apparently, like you, fights. Because Father A doesn't make good jokes. He
Yeah.
tried.
Anna asked earlier, like, why is nobody accepting my help? And everybody's like, because, like, or rather, Oro said, people, there's a rumor that you bite, and you just declined her help, and Oro's just like,
Right? I don't see it. I like Anna.
I do too. She seems like a nice.
So yeah, that's all the information I'll need.
Very cool.
All right, so you guys are going to leave from there, and where's the party headed? And we'll pick up at wherever you guys go from here.
What time
We're
of the
heading
day
for
is it?
Somar Villa. To
It'd be about the afternoon.
Okay.
We don't need to go to Somar Villa.
Oh no! Yeah, she's here. She's in this keep. The High Council is in this keep.
Okay, so I am killing two birds with one stone by coming in here.
Yes.
Yeah, I thought you wanted to
just
talk
not 3
to
stones.
Jami. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yes, I was. So I'm killing 2 different stones, but.
Okay. And I guess we'll end there, and we'll pick up next session with you guys talking to Anadelia. So let me think of so the introduction today. You guys added 2 members to your party. Revealed Oro and Ariana used to have a romantic relationship. There was something else that got revealed tonight too.
We learned that A-list
The
taught
material.
Marcus.
Mhm. Oh, you guys have already known Ayla taught Marcus.
I didn't know we knew that.
Jami told you guys that. Well, you guys don't listen to Jami.
I was probably, trying to debate exactly at what angle to stab him.
I convinced Makana that it's okay to let the Silver Sigil do research in the Calcanal.
Oh, yeah. So you guys revealed Jami is a part of the Silver Sigil, and the material that you found is likely cold iron.
Yep.
And that is not the end of that quest. There's still a lot more to learn about that stuff. So I'm going to say... I think I told Emerald and Octavia to roll up to the wrong level. So you guys both level up to 10, because I think I put you guys at 9. And then...
Yeah.
I'm at 10.
Yeah.
I'm at 9.
Okay, so let's move you to 10, and then
Okay.
from the baseline 10 experience, 5,000 experience tonight for everybody.
I got this.
Okay. You said, wait, how much experience?
5,000. Was there anything else revealed? You know what? I'll give you guys...
Anna bites.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'll give you guys 250 experience for Anna bites. So 5,250.
I very, very much wanted to try awkward flirting after hearing bites, but I don't think that's bother his character. The awkward part, not the flirting.
Yes.
Yeah, and we're going to... well, you know what? There was some essential information that was revealed tonight that the party didn't pick up on. So I will also give 1,000 experience for that, if and I'll give you guys 5 minutes if you want to conjecture real quick.
Shit.
The necklace piece that's inside Raina's book.
Oh, I forgot about that. I didn't even count that.
Yeah.
I'll give 500 for that. So
Bam!
You're gonna need to give me the new revised total because you've increased it 3 times.
I will give you the total. I'm keeping up with it.
I'm keeping up with it too.
But that was not what I was
And that-
referencing.
That wasn't
She's
it?
the only smart person here who hasn't been...
Octavia's the only smart person?
No, the child.
Oh,
Raina.
Raina's the only
Yeah.
smart person?
Yeah.
She's not smart.
Hey, I don't claim to be. No, Raina's a genius. She's
Yeah.
just unfocused.
She's a
Hey,
pussy.
Emo's pretty bright himself.
I mean, I don't know yet, but I'll give you benefit of the doubt because I don't know.
I mean, don't know. I also don't trust you. Don't trust you.
Yeah.
Essential information.
I mean, you just met me, so. And I was in the company of Bayless.
Well, apparently we already knew that Alis trained Marcus, so that's something.
And I feel my brother got dumber the longer he was...
Whatever
Triton
they
or
said.
whatever is in town.
Say it again.
Triton, whatever his name, I forgot his name, is in town. He was looking at stuff in
Oh,
the shop.
Tatis? You guys don't even
Tatis.
remember who Tatis is.
I
Yeah,
have
who the
no
hell's
clue who he
Tatis?
is.
I'll give you
I don't-
that
yeah,
one
but
for
Maybe
free.
being
But,
in town was essential information.
no, I'll
Everything's
give you
out
guys
there.
that one for free, but because that will hit Johan later. That was the guy working with Lorraine, destroying Marcus's book. He is a member of a cult.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Mhm.
He needs to be captured.
What else?
If it helps you guys any, it happened at the very start of the session.
Yeah.
Emerald is an agent of Alis? That seems pretty pertinent.
I did want you guys to remember it because it is important for the storyline. The cold iron, specifically hurt Alis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I picked up on
I
that.
picked up on that too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I picked up on it, but there's a reason I didn't want to talk about it.
Oh, because it didn't hurt. It felt cold, but it didn't hurt Johan.
Yeah.
So that confirmed that she's undead. Or something else.
Or a fiend.
Yeah.
Or maybe it only hurts people with magic?
Yeah.
No, that's the thing. It didn't hurt Johan, and Johan's a paladin.
Astel told you
Oh.
guys it hurts magical creatures. All
Yeah.
sorts of them.
It hurt Imero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Emerald didn't touch
Did it hurt Emerald?
Yes, he did.
He picked it up and dropped it immediately.
Right before Alice did the exact same thing.
What are you?
Yeah, she picked it up and said,
I'm an
"God,
elf."
what the f- is that?"
I'm an
What
elf.
are you?
I'm an elf. I have Fey ancestry.
Oh, that's fair.
So, anyways, 6,750 experience for tonight. That's the grand total.
6,750. So, if you start at 64, it should be 70,700.
Yes. Good opening to the session. Sorry for keeping you guys late because, we started late. So, we'll be
That's
on
fine.
schedule next time. Oh, and let's plan your guys' next campaign, or your next session is going to be on the 20th of October. I like to do this for groups. If you guys want, I normally start prepping for the session the week of. That's going to be the only other time we meet in October. Would you guys like to have a Halloween themed session?
Yeah.
Our sessions aren't already Halloween themed.
I'd say it's pretty. I think it's already Halloween themed.
Yeah, I was going to
We've
say.
got a vampire to deal with.
I can run it as a little, it's a miniature horror story, but I'll keep that in mind for my prep notes then. Good stuff tonight, and we're going to end the stream right there. Thank you guys for watching, for everybody who did.